beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Sweet Millionaire Formula, the podcast where we mix money goals with Hollywood drama and drop gems like it's hot. I'm your host, Money Mona, Budget Babe by day, and I'm here to help you secure the bag without losing your mind or your edges. Period. Let's talk money, mess, and millionaire moves. Here's what we got on the agenda today. Remote living and how to turn your legal degree into a legal business in another country and live remotely. Opening up a IRA account with your brokerage. And I want to know, why did Brian only have a debit card to pay for that Atlantis hotel in Medea's destination wedding? Grab your drink, sis, or your pen, because we're about to get into it.
Okay, that's what I said. Not two damn rooms, you not. I know damn well. I'm finna get the hell up out of here. Where's my? Give me a car. Give me a cab. I need an Uber. I'm going home. I got it. Okay, I got it. What the hell you doing with a? How you get a red debit card? That means you in the red.
Thank you so much. She likes to feel like she's contributing.
Debit card. She using a debit card.
Yes, it's hard.
They go through over here. I don't know what y'all.
Shortly after the Medea family arrived to Atlas in the Bahamas, which, by the way, have y'all seen the cross partnership with the ability for Netflix, Tyler Perry Studios in Atlas to do a global international partnership? I think y'all be missing the plays. And that's why I have Sweet Millionaire Formula to highlight those plays. And I think it's super important. As a visionary, as a dreamer, I thrive on new. I thrive on knowledge that I didn't know. And so it's super just fascinating that from influencers like Hassanat being able to have such a presence that he's able to partner with a LeBron James on stage. Not that he was in the crowd speaking at the shop's event, but he was actually on stage with Tom Brady, LeBron James, Maverick. And I just thought that this I don't know if it's a transverse or as a translation or cross partnerships, but these links of not only Black media, Black presence, Black influencers, and Black companies being able to take their talents international. But I just think that we have truly changed the trajectory of media. Can I say that without sounding like Black people? We are the epicenter of this world. Let's talk about it. I take pride in that. We always being downplayed or not even being able to acknowledge how powerful we are. But Tyler Perry just cross partnership with Atlas and Netflix to an international partnership. They're exposing people to the possibilities and the location experiences that are worldwide. I think that is so fascinating. But I wanted to highlight the fact that when it came to his wife is so shady and throwing her husband into his face. But I wanted to highlight that pressure. Joe was telling Brian, don't let her okie dokie, just let her pay for it. And Brian has this pride of like, the father pays for the wedding. And even though he's like, the father pays for the wedding, he knows that he can only afford 2 rooms at the Atlas Hotel. So funny. So as the wife approaches and the family approaches, you know, he's like, just 2 hotels. He's whispering, just 2 hotels rooms for me and my family. And Medea's like, 2 hotel rooms? Oh, hell no. That's not what we doing on this nice vacation. If you brought me here, give me my own room. And so it is so funny to me that when he went to pay and his father was like, don't pay for that. Don't let her okie doke you. And I feel like that's something to highlight, because we may be okie doked into like buying a new car, which is the biggest scam of all, especially when you have poor credit. If your credit score is under a 580, 590, and you're going to a lot to purchase a car, I think that that's the biggest scam, because as soon as you leave off the lot, that car depreciates by literally 50 to 60% once you take it off the lot. And you already bought it with 90,000 miles, 70,000 miles. So it has taken at least 5 to 6 years off of the value of the car. I believe that when you have a predicament where you like, I need a car, and you're willing to sit up there and pay a $600 car note every month and a $500 insurance, where do you have money to be able to invest into yourself? When do you have money to be able to pay you first? Where do you have money to be able to dream outside of your circumstances and not and kind of like escape the cycle? And I feel like it's when you become victim to the cycle. And I'm not saying that you have to walk. I'm not saying that you have to not drive. But what I'm saying is you have to go and do the internal work on your credit score so that when you are purchasing a car, especially if you want like a new car or if you want a used car, wherever you can start at, whatever you can afford, you have to be understanding and realistic that you have to save money, and that extra 400 that you're spending on a car note is it doesn't mean much. When I bought my car off the lot, it was a 2017 Chevrolet Malibu, and my car note was $598 and my insurance was $350. So to open that car door was $1,200 something already, and I was working at Wendy's, y'all. So, but my rent was $400 in Cleveland. So, $1,200 car note and a $400 rent, it kind of balanced out at the end of the month because I was driving Lyft with that brand new car once I bought it. But what the issue that I kept having was, why is it that my car note is $600? I was getting a little bit frustrated because I'm like, I'm working Lyft, I'm working Wendy's, I'm working. I'm not enjoying no life, but I'm working to pay these bills, just to work the next month to pay these bills, I started praying and just asking God to be able to show me a way that I can become better with my finances and have a better credit score, because I'm just like, this is the key to being able to thrive, is being able to have a great credit score. But if I'm paying all these bills in a cycle, then I don't have time to be able to pay for myself. And so I just thought that it was super important for me to just realize, to check myself, like, I don't want to spend my whole life paying off a car that doesn't work, that isn't worth anything. And I say that to say, because once I was a year into payments and I called to check the payoff date, I was only down by $100, even though I had made a year's worth of payments. Literally $450 of the payment was going towards interest. Maybe $200 of the money that I was spending in my car note was going towards the actual note. And that is something that I did not fully comprehend or even care about. I just wanted a new car. Give me a new car. And when you don't know, you don't know. When you know better, you do better. Okay? So now, I'm looking at 3 years later from that same situation, and I'm looking at how my car note is $250, my insurance is $200, and with $450, I have another $450 to invest into my Roth IRA account. It may seem unrealistic. It may seem just like, oh, okay, but that's a big deal when in 30, 40, 50 years, you're going to be retiring and you need funds besides Social Security to be able to generate and pay your bills, right? So I thought it was I thought it was funny that Brian had a debit card paying for the hotels, because with a debit card, you only can put on there what you can afford. And he had already told his family back before they left that he couldn't afford to really take them to the Bahamas or afford to what's it called? Like splurge. He couldn't splurge like he wanted to, but he said, we'll get there. We're going to do it. And so when it came time for him to actually pay, they were cracking up laughing that, why are you using a debit card in this establishment? Do you see where we are? Okay, like, you're using a debit card. And I think that is so funny, because you, at a point in your life, especially after you're 35, 36, 37, I feel like by like this age that I'm at right now, it took me about 3 to 4 years to realize, understand, and see the ripple effects of what was happening to my money, why I wasn't, where I wanted to be. And it all boils down to financial literacy, capability, automation, and making improvements on your credit score yearly. One thing that separates my mindset is, I've seen what happens when a family goes 20 years without a business plan, goals, stock market, investing to the stock market, diversify portfolios, Roth IRAs, matching your company, whatever your company is matching you, maximizing what your company will match you. That is a testament to my growth. This podcast and the evolution of my financial literacy in a matter of the last 4 years is impeccable because I've spent 2 years in the library reading books. I didn't pay no gurus. I didn't go to the world with my hand out. I took where my shortcomings were and I started to read books, communicate, read articles, study based on my own shortcomings because I couldn't ask the questions I wanted to ask because I didn't know what answer I was looking for. But when I took my shortcomings and started to research those, that's when I started to realize, like, okay, this is what my shortcoming is, and this is how I'm going to improve it. And I've been doing that literally for the last 3 years. And this podcast is just a fruit of the improvements and maturity that I've made over those last years, right? Talk about today in segment 1, Stack Your Paper. Why is it important that you have a Roth IRA account? And why is it important that you diversify your portfolio? Because we live in uncertain times. I seen on Earn Your Leisure a post that said in the next 5 years, 70% of jobs are going to be AI, and I don't think that that's true. And I hate that they are promoting that type of propaganda because it incites fear into people without knowledge and knowing. So I understand their point implied, listen to the podcast. This is what's happening. They want you to listen to their breakdown of it. But I thought that was super important for you to have options, especially with your remote living. When you have a professional degree or when you have expertise in an area that can breed you the opportunity to create your own LLC and your own business, I think that you should definitely be brave enough to tap into that power because you can live remotely. There's literally hundreds of countries in this entire world. And I had an article that I read where this guy had after COVID and the pandemic that had happened, he had just got his law degree. And he had been practicing law, but once the pandemic hit, he wasn't able to, finance the money flow wasn't coming in. And so this is a quote from him. He said, I needed a way to make more money. And this trademark thing came up. He says that gave him the idea to list his services on Fiverr, a freelance platform where he could offer affordable trademark help to small business owners, turning a side hustle into a full-time business. Okay, so Fiverr was able to pay him in his first month of being a freelancer on Fiverr, which he is a trademark lawyer, and he does everything from A to Z with your trademark, your business, your name. But he basically helps business cover all of the mishaps they would miss if they didn't hire him. And he charges anywhere between $600 to $1,000 for his services. And so it didn't take long for the demand in his business to build, especially after the pandemic, because there was an explosion of small businesses that started to arise after the pandemic. He said by his third month, he was earning $5,000 from Fiverr. And just the fourth month after that, he earned $10,000. So he was able to basically triple his income in a matter of months by being a freelancer on Fiverr. But what I thought, reading his bio and listening to his story, what I thought was super important is he didn't want to just quit his job after 4 months, but he obviously wanted to bring in income. So he did it in a way that he could control his outcome. He went on a freelance website, right? And now he's at a point where he has a personal assistant, an AI assistant himself, and his systems, automatic systems set up with his business to be able to streamline his business. And this is super important because streamlining your business that generates over $350,000 a year is top tier financial independence. But after reading his story and reading how he had diversified his portfolio, that's what made me commend him even more, because not only does he buy real estate, and he's currently in Mexico City, but he's buying real estate in some of the countries and places that he goes to. And he's able to invest into the stock market as well as putting money into his Roth IRA. And those were 3 things that he said that he does early on in his business because he's not sure of the volatility of business, how he will sustain himself. So investing $12,000 of that money early on, every check, $12,000, he's investing into the stock market. He's investing into real estate. He's putting up new properties. He's diversifying his portfolio. And I think that his ability to be able to have financial literacy and knowledge that allows him to be able to be remotely independent, financially independent, yet reaping these amazing benefits. I thought that was super important for us to highlight because that may be the next wave of living, is to be able to streamline your business and be able to work remotely. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think that jobs are going to be out in the next 5 years. But I think that there's going to come a point in a time where you're going to have to be your own entity of business, which we already are. And I commend Derek for being able to highlight his story and be able to diversify his portfolio and be able to do it all from a whole different country. So that really stood out to me. And let me know in your comments. Follow us on Sweet Millionaire Formula. Let me know your comments. What city would you move to if you could streamline your job and be remote? What country would you move to? Woo! Okay, we talked about a lot of stuff today, so we're going to do a small recap. The importance of remote living, investing into your IRA, and why having just a debit card is not going to be sufficient moving forward, especially in this AI digital world that we're living in. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, be sure to follow us at Sweet Millionaire Formula. We are excited to hear your comments. Again, leave in the comments, what country would you live in that would... if you were remote and you could streamline your business, what country would you move to? Follow us and rate us 5 stars on Spotify. If you're listening, follow and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. This is how we monetize. This is how we grow our platform and get this amazing message out to everybody around us. Share, like, comment, repost. Until then, stack it, save it, and protect your peace and your pockets. Peace!